the overlord sitting on crates. Half and half do-rag, sipping the quarter in my socks.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we're giving you the inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course with me I have some gentlemen of extraordinary league guys. Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves, please.
KR Jones is in the building.
Your trainer, Corey, a.k.a. your favorite trainer's favorite trainer.
That's right, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all type from near and far, you are now in store for a treat because we are back in here with that variety hour. That's when we give you our best foot forward. So hopefully you take your best foot forward and you do that two-step, that tango, that whatever you got to do that's clever, baby, to make sure that you move through the week the right way. Fellas. You know how I was moseying on them out here, so I had to give them a little. Yeah, exactly. The no pants dance off. That's what we doing.
No pants dance. Boy, put a little angle in your dangle. You know what I mean?
Still don't endorse that.
Put a little swing in your thing.
Hey, man, it don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.
As long as you ain't out here door stopping. If you out here door stopping, you cause a problem.
We can't have this. We can't have this. This is not the way
No
it
right angles, fam. No right angles.
Kyle.
Nope, I'm just going to go ahead and let that float on because I don't endorse it.
Why not, Kyle? You got to embrace your inner space, man. You got to understand where you at,
Let
brother.
a man live pants free, you know what I'm saying?
Why can't I just get my life on?
Why you trying to impress
Live
the
your
brother?
life. I'm doing my thing with my pants on. You know what I'm saying?
Living
you
your
do
best
you.
life?
Yeah.
All right, I ain't even mad at you, man. And you know what, matter of fact, fellas, I was living my best life because I know I was out here and I had a privilege of doing that last little City Point engagement this week, fellas.
Yeah.
And I know my homies came through, gave me a hard time about how I was relaxing responsibly a couple weeks back when I was talking about that hard booch in here. Well, fellas, little did I know that in the course of my conversation when I was doing the interview with the homie Gabe over from Plant People, fam, he was sipping on some hard booch too. And he said, hey, man, that's my boy's company. You like that too? We should talk. I said, you know what? God damn it, I said it. You did it. Now we here, and I'm here. You got to address me from a high place, Kyle.
Now Tony out here booching dirty.
Wholeheartedly.
I ain't never talked bad about the booch. I'm just
You ain't
say,
talk good about the booch, though.
I didn't talk good about it either, but after a few sips, it grew on me.
Listen,
just
man,
a little.
I'm just out here manifesting.
On an empty stomach, it's delicious. You know what I mean? Just
I was out here manifesting. That's what I'm trying to get people to pay attention to. The words
You
had
did that.
meaning. I did do that.
Real quick, Tones, what's the difference between kombucha and prison toilet water?
I would say probably a shank is one of the things that's going to be not included in where I picked this up from.
So
It's
this is
usually-
shank free.
This is shank free.
All
This is
right.
shank free sipping right here. This is where we're going on that side, man.
So shank free sips is what we
Shank-
get.
That's exactly it. Now I probably can't give them that endorsement because that's probably not going to be the way they want to label their product. But that's neither here nor there. You know, we're going to get past this and get into this whole wrap up for the week, man. So yeah, we did that last little engagement with City Point. You know, I'm going to start to move on forward, and I can't wait to get into this fourth quarter, baby, because this fourth quarter this time of the season just makes me want to get a certain energy out. How y'all feeling about that, fellas?
I'm ready.
Hell yeah,
I
mine,
mean,
right?
you got to throw them fours up. You know, this is when it counts. This is when the game is on the line.
Ready to Mike Jordan them out here, man. Ready to close it down, you know. And it's been a hell of a year so far, you know. I have had many a up and many a down inside here. So in this fourth quarter, I'm really looking to ride that wave right into that rally.
Well, you know, this is when I turned a year older. So this is my season right here. This is when, you know, you got to layer up. You see that fashion. I don't know where you're going, but just know anytime you see me at the grocery store, I'm going to be dapper.
Serving them.
Debonair. Like, why is he dressed so fly? Like, because I'm going grocery shopping, ho. That's why.
That's how you hitting them?
You just calling people hope?
Of course.
With the hard age. Oh, man.
With
One
the
thing
hard
with-
H.
The dope thing about the weather change for me is looking at the folks who don't know what the weather is and just come out like it's you come out with flip flops, but it's wild cold outside.
You'd be confused
You know,
for a little bit, especially
Come
in
out
New York
with the
City.
tank top and the
The
jacket.
New York switch is different, though, because you got to be prepared to be hot, cold, and, like, shivering all at the same time.
You need a bag. You
For
need
sure.
a bag because you need an extra garment.
You need layers.
And as we're educating people out here, you know, I know that there's going to be some people that have some questions that they do need to understand. Much like they have to get prepared for the elements out here, they have to get prepared to how to navigate through the complexities that this thing called life is, fellas. And if we are in the practice of decoding this human existence for the people, the coalition of the willing, we should provide them a way to reach out and touch somebody, if you will. Now, make sure that touch is the right kind of touch. My man has given that before, but The hotline is open. And they got some questions that we need to give them some answers to. So, Corey, can you let them know how they can ask their trainer this week and let people understand what's coming in from the outside, brother?
One of the big questions that we got multiple times was how to really efficiently take care of your fitness at home. So we wanted to kind of unpack that for you guys. Every one of us approached it a little differently, so we're going to give you a couple of different answers on what to look like and what to look at when you're doing your at-home fitness. And I like to break it down real simply into 3 simple categories. What you're going to do for cardio, what you're going to do for your strength, and then what you're going to do for mobility, flexibility as an option.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it a stack. I get all of the bases covered by going back right into that network of the homies out here, man. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't have to hit up the big homie, brother, former member, alumni of the show. We got to think about that boy TB Elite. You know his name. Troy Brooks is out there. He's serving up all different types of classes every week. So I would say please pay attention to that brother, and we're going to raise him up in those rafters for everything that's at home. I mean, the homie just built out a whole damn garage that looked like damn near will rival some people's personal gyms that they used to have inside there. So
yeah,
he's
got
serving
a nice
you.
little setup over there.
He giving you the cardio. He giving you the grill.
The adjustable kettlebell joint.
Whatever you need, this brother's giving it to you. Some mobility, some strength, any of the lifestyle training that you need to get together. Man, I got to shout that brother out. And I say that's the in-home fitness that I got to hit with.
For me, if I were to give advice to people, I would definitely say start with creating a space for you to work out. I feel like a lot of times people move stuff or they just don't create that space. Like, create a space in your home to work out, first and foremost, and make sure that it's comfortable. The worst thing you want to do is try to stretch or try to do some mobility work and you hit in the dresser or the chair or whatever it is. Like, move some stuff around, create some space so that you have space to move and do the things that you need to do. That's first and foremost.
Don't let the idea that you don't have the perfect equipment deter you from getting something in. Because you can knock out some push-ups and some sit-ups if that's all you got.
Body weight is always with you.
Yeah, just to add to that, man, make sure you use what you have and then grow on that. You know, a lot of times you don't have anything, and that's perfectly fine. Use the items you have around the house and get creative and find those things that you like and tap in.
I tell you what, early pandemic, I had a couple of people that, there was a shortage on weights, and a lot of people hadn't planned on working out from home. So all of a sudden, I'm talking to people in their living room in a setup that they didn't plan on. And so we were getting water in pots. We were using cat litter bags, whatever it may be, to create something and set it up so that you can get some work in. And then as things progress, we were able to pick up pieces. But in the meantime, you just do what you got to do.
Hell yeah, man. I respect the hell out of that. Corey, can you let them know anything else that they need to know about either how they could reach out and touch these hotlines to know about more of the stuff coming up?
Your Trainer Corey, you can hit me on IG, Your Trainer Corey, or Your Trainer Corey at Gmail if you want to hit me directly through there, or our Off the Strength Instagram.
At offthestrength_.
Or you can message us at info@offthestrength.com. Now, back to your normally scheduled programming. That's right, folks. We're going to jump back in here. It's time. It's time for Ripped from the Headlines. And that transition is brought to you in part by yours truly, your boy, Pants Off, Dance Off. We coming back inside here.
Tony the Poop.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle, you going to embrace me, damn it.
I ain't embracing you with your
Hell
pants
yeah,
off.
man.
No,
We
I
gonna
gotta
make this
back
happen, bro.
Kyle on that. There's gonna be no embracing.
We gonna make this happen, man.
Social distance until you put your pants on.
Oh, man. See, this is not fair. We're going to come back inside here, folks. You know, if it's this Rip from the Headlines, I got to give you some of the good. I got to give you the bad. And we're going to talk about this goddamn ugly this week, too, man. So I'm going to come in starting off first with the good. And this is likely something that you have done before in some way, shape, or form.
I admit nothing.
But you probably don't call it what these people are trying to call it now. And you know, every single time we find something new in fitness, we got to give it the remix. Much like some of my favorite songs, certain things shouldn't be touched. It's like, certain things don't need to necessarily have a remix. So when I saw in the Inquirer and the Upside, there is a new trend coming down in fitness, and it is called forest bathing. Fellas, just on the title of what forest bathing is.
Say what?
How do you feel?
What you say about my mama?
What direction do you think forest bathing has taken the people as we go inside of here?
I'm gonna say a Caucasian direction. That sounds.
Well, Corey, I'm going to take the energy from my brother that just left outside of here. And Travis said we got to make sure we reclaim nature's essence out here, man. And we got to get this return to
I don't
Earth.
know if I want to reclaim bathing in the forest.
We're not actually bathing in the forest. So forest bathing just implies the fact that you are surrounded by nature.
Oh, okay.
You're just in and you're getting rooted.
You're basking.
You're basking. You know, you're taking the shoes off like my brother Kyle said, and you get grounded. Or we going to go even further back and shout out to Sister Trina, where she was telling you everything has a season, ladies and gentlemen. You got to make sure you feel the soil and get around all of these different nature elements outside here. So forest bathing is the practice by which we are trying to treat some of these issues like anxiety, PTSD, and things of that nature by letting people get immersed inside of being in the forest. Now, if you're coming from an urban space, that could be a little bit of a different type of situation. Now, I know I like to get inside and get lost in the greenery from time to time, but do you fellas frequent going out into the rugged sides of things?
Absolutely, not very far in though. not very far in. I like to know where the roads are from where I am. You know, I like a direct route back to a road that will get me to civilization. But I do enjoy to get off and cut a little bit. I never in my life called it forest bathing.
Probably not.
I never will.
Forest bathing is definitely a new term for me. Throwing that in the lexicon for sure. I think we used to refer to it as a tree hugger. You know?
Man. I hug many a tree. I've had conversations with these trees as I hugged them.
I always called it going outside. But, whatever.
Different strokes for different folks, man. I think there is true healing properties in being in nature and being in that environment just because they're living and breathing things. So I think that is a quintessential thing that people should have when they are missing that, especially living in a city and you don't get a chance to get out into nature. So I think that's cool. I'm definitely not calling it forest bathing. No,
you're supposed
100%
to be.
no for me.
You're supposed to be outside though. You get your vitamin D. You get a lot. Your body completely changes. Enzyme releases, neurological things change. Everything is different for your body when you spend some time outdoors. You have to get some outdoor time.
Yeah.
But I'm not calling it forest bathing.
Well, what it does do, it makes you have to unplug and you have to get away from most of what is the things that are the impetus for that negative energy, right? So you're probably not going to get the best cell signal in the middle of the forest. I'm talking about actually if you're in the thick of it, you're not going to be able to get your IG flicks off. You know, you might be able to take a picture and you got to upload that joint later on, but realistically, it's taking away all the things that might have distracted you and letting you get into awakening some of the other senses. There is a primal nature that's rehearsed that almost kind of like, oh, this might be some information I forgot about. Like my eyes is noticing things moving a little quicker, you know, and there's more attention to detail. And there is really just better air quality too. And sometimes just breathing in some good air can be something that offers you a little bit of sanctuary inside of an otherwise uncertain time. So I will say forest bathing, minus the name, is going to land in the good this week, my man. You know, that's how we're going to put it inside here.
As long as you don't call it forest bathing.
Hey, man, we got, just reach out there and hug
FB.
No FB? No on the FB? Man, you got to reach out there.
Go to the park, that's a little forest shower. Just a little.
Listen, man, you get a little forest dip, you know? A little forest bath.
You go in the backyard and get a forest hoe bath?
Yeah, exactly. You just dip your toe in, just see what it was about, man. It's exactly that labeling and that conversation where everything has to get remixed, everything has to get another context put upon it. That's going to be the thing that unfortunately moves us right into the bad this week, folks.
Here we go.
Because in an article from Jezebel.com now, because
Hold up.
Jezebel, like Sade will tell you, Jezebel was.
Wait, why was you there?
You are far more well read than
Listen,
I knew.
man, I'm pulling up for the people.
My man go from Tolstoy to Jezebel.
Listen, man, I'm out here for the people. I'm a servant of the people, man. I'm trying to let them know what's happening in these wellness streets. Listen, it wasn't born.
Forum real quick.
Man, listen, I gotta know what's in these wellness
I was
streets.
not expecting Jezebel.
No.
Jezebel wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Fam, we're not gonna talk about Jezebel mouth. We're not gonna talk.
These are real facts that I'm trying to give you.
So you read that in the Daily Bongo
And
too?
Mad Magazine out there.
Listen, I'm coming up with the information that the people need from this rip from the headlines, man. So I had to rip it. When I saw,
My bad.
You ripped the pages
Let
out
him
of
get it out.
Jezebel?
Let him get it
I had
out.
to get it out.
It's the Jezebel. Let him
It's
get it.
Jezebel magazine, and yes, sometimes the things that we read are controversial. This is what I'm trying to get into. This is why, Corey. It's not that I believe the stuff that's inside these magazines. I see it for what it is. But our constituency doesn't always know that you should really check out your sources. So when Jezebel reported that eat, pray conspiracy is starting to take place in the wellness industry, I had to pay attention to it, brother, because I know if you are talking about conspiratorial nature inside of the wellness industry, there's only one gangster that really brings fear to my heart. Some of these new listeners might not know about this gangster that's out here. Tried to tell people before that you cannot go against somebody who's been undefeated as they've been moving through these wellness streets. But goddamn it, Gwyneth is back on the block. Big GP.
GP, are you
heard
with
that
me?
name in a
Don't step on it just yet, but we know who's out here, my man. You know who's out here if we coming in this direction.
Coming through to stomp on the buildings.
Eat, Pray Conspiracy is talking about how maybe some of the pathways through which we're spreading this information in the wellness industry might have been co-opted by QAnon of all places. And they are starting to label some people that might be taking this good information, reinterpreted, using it for some things that are not necessarily inside this wellness space. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all type, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there is a great deal of misinformation that circulates throughout our wild world of wellness, like certain cure-alls that you can do inside your home, particularly in time of a pandemic, put on certain sites and then picked up by influencers, and then that information just keeps getting recycled. So now they're starting to see, well, there are bots that are targeting specific sites and specific people to make this misinformation get even further out down the line. So, Corey, I had to look at this as like, wait a second. No, you can't kill the coronavirus with Yoruba, like some random
WD-40.
root, right? But, Corey, this is the thing. People are actually believing that. That's why it's something that I got to pay a little bit more attention to, because some of these practitioners out here, and I'm talking about good old gangster Gwen is back inside this situation. GP was out here, and they are labeling her as one of these people that the QAnon folks are really paying attention to, because whatever she says, they know how to put some more stuff on and make it into something that's a little bit more hyperbolic than just, hey, let's make fun of these people. No, it's actually causing some harm out here. How do you feel about, much like we see in our political sphere, the wellness sphere being manipulated to have this bipartisan thing to make people fight back and forth, bicker, and then maybe even lead you into a direction that this misinformation is going to bring you into some illness, my friend? How y'all feeling about this?
It's not a surprise at this point.
But they're being picked up by what some people would call credible people in the industry.
Well, I mean, that's been a consistent thing for a while. You get a couple of people that are at the either early stages or late stages of having leverage and relevance, and then leverage that to get them to say something that they know is not true so that they can stay relevant. That's kind of a common thing. And one of the things that we've seen for quite a while is the idea that there's a couple of different factors that you can use to manipulate that people will never question. One is their faith. Mm-hmm. One is anything that makes them feel good. And one is anything that makes them believe they're better than someone else.
And where does wellness and well-being sit inside of all of that?
Right there, center.
Kind of has a little bit of mix of all. So when they say that the wellness industry has been built on questioning established science and successfully mainstreaming fringe ideas, there's only one person that sits at the top of that mountain, is what I'm trying to tell you right now. I'm trying to tell you Gangsta Gwen is out here, and they're saying that Gangsta Gwen is putting this pressure back on people. People, if you don't know how we feel about GP, are you with me out here? I ain't talking God's property. I'm talking about Miss Paltrow, if you hear me. We know where she's at on this side, and that's why this story has to land in the bad for this week. And then, friends, countrymen, please lend me your ears, because the ugly is going to transition to a statewide issue, my friend. This is a state of emergency. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in the year of our Lord to talk a little bit about a bit of misinformation that might circulate inside here as well. We have seen our president-elect has possibly contracted COVID-19. Gents, this sits inside the ugly. Wait. We must wait through this and understand why this is ugly this week. First of all, how do we feel about some of these chickens coming home to roost? Kind of like in the last story, this misinformation.
It's funny how these stories are starting to tie together.
I'm trying to give you a pattern, see where we're going. So the lies that we were told have come home to roost. Now, where do we go inside this situation? One, do you guys think that this is a true story? I'd say its convenience aspect of it is really a high level of question inside there.
There's a lot to this. So the idea that President Trump has contracted and the First Lady Melania have contracted coronavirus or announced they've contracted coronavirus. It is quite convenient in a time when you really don't want to be answering a bunch of questions about the fact that you just had the debacle during the debate that happened. I don't think anyone can argue that it was well done on either side, but certainly quite an embarrassment for our country as a whole. So being able to lay low for a while would be beneficial. Being quarantined would be useful. And I would say the easiest way to figure out whether or not our president has in fact contracted the virus or whether or not he's just avoiding connection would be whether or not he still speaks to us.
I think it's also convenient that this whole 750 on the tax situation is pretty pertinent information too. This is kind of like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm gonna skate out on all of these, and yeah, you can't talk to me for a couple weeks. You know, just long enough for a news cycle kind of to die down
Kinda
about
run
that
out.
situation. How do you skate out on that? Kyle, how you feeling on this situation, man? You think this is a real story? Or we getting this QAnon plant again, brother?
That shit ain't real, man. No, I think we're in a space where you gotta have a level of, you know, just curiosity to everything that's given to you. I mean, I can't believe it. I just can't, or wholeheartedly believe anything that's told to me through these outlets. So if he say he got it, man, he got it. If he didn't believe in it, well, look, man, now you got it, so you got to believe it. It does sound oddly convenient when, you know, he ain't been paying taxes for 10 to 15 years, the whole debate debacle.
Man, we lost Wesley for a while because of that.
Wesley
they
offered
put
to
Wesley
pay.
ass in jail. They ain't
For
Yeah.
like 3 years. He
we
did
knew
like
where
3.
he was.
We could have had another blade.
Don't-
Easily.
Yo, Wesley did a small stretch and he was going to give up like $850.
Yeah.
Like he was coming in with money in hand.
He
Like,
getting
here go,
no
here go,
more royalty
Here
from
go
the
almost
movies.
$1 million taxes.
They're like, you sit right here, sir.
Yo, the president in Cheeto decided he was going to drop $750.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. Finally, to wrap that up, I gotta really look back at it, and I don't if I would say he's telling the truth or not, because there's a history of a different type of relationship with what truth means with this individual.
He does fit the criteria of people who get sick, though.
And that's my point in particular.
He's
now,
in that range.
What would be proof positive to me is how he actually recovered from this situation, because if this man comes out and he looks like spry and he's moving around, that's going to look a little different to me, just to me personally. I know he has a lot of different access to different types of things that would likely keep him in his right shape. But if there was a primary candidate that this was going to hit and hit hard, I don't know if homie out here is giving you the best vibes, right?
My man is 6'1", 235. Isn't that what they...
He's square in the
Isn't
middle
that what
where
they
we're
say?
central adiposity. He's just right inside here. He in the pocket for all the bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
If he makes it out of this whole situation, nothing scathed, I gotta look at it a little differently. And I don't want to go too deep into the conspiracy aspect, but I would never consciously say I put bad energy towards somebody in their actual health and well-being. So I would say it lands in the ugly because it does have this existential threat. And I see some people celebrating this fact, and I have to pause when I see that. That is an ugly thing to celebrate, the fact of somebody's demise.
Twitter was crazy this morning.
Yeah, you know, I can't say that. That's not going to be somewhere where cosmically I want to live, Brother Jones. I'm in a higher place, but I ain't crying for the motherfucker either. And that's going to be it for Rip from the headlines this week, folks. That's going to be it. And we going to move from one space and transition again into a higher place in a higher position. We going to lift them back up.
Higher.
We going to change their minds.
Amen.
And we going to get into a little bit more of the clarity.
and passive collection kit.
There we go.
We're going to pass the paper around to the left one more time,
You
please.
know,
please.
you got him to pass the voice after you gave homie the eulogy. You know, you got to make sure.
We need to get an organ in here.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's supposed to.
Put the coins away. We need the bills that fold.
As he transitions.
I thought that was a trash.
Yeah. We got one dude transitioning. Possibly transitioning. We got to make our own transition. Corey, what's this week looking like on this moment of clarity, man?
Talk to y'all about this Ric Flair out here. This woo. So please don't be fooled by the fireworks and the drums. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for, and this is by no means a political platform. But we do have a mission and a mission statement to read you the lyrics, to give you the verse while you get lost in this hook. So that okey doke, that hoodwink, that bamboozle, that is on. And this is really simple. This might be the simplest message I'm ever going to give you. I've never seen a politician I could trust. And by nature, they're disingenuous in order to be effective in their own right. But I know for a fact that this man is aligned with people who want me dead, incarcerated, or oppressed. This isn't really a time for half measures. This is about survival. I watched that man get on national television and say to people that I know want me gone, stand by. I can't stand by for that. So whatever you feel, whatever your political decision is, that's cool, but this is beyond that. This is a very simple thing. If you love me or people who look like me, people who sound like me, then you have a very simple decision. That's all I got.
It is a very simple question. Hey, these people that want to eradicate the other people, do you stand for that or you denounce that? That's not a hard question to ask.
You can have all the religious backing you want, all the simple decisions you want, whatever the different layers of political views you have, by all means. But at some point, you got to say, yo, is this right for humanity?
You just had to let that breathe for a little bit. I mean,
exhale for a second.
You know, we exhale. That's some real shit, and I guess we're gonna keep this train moving. Then, you know what I'm saying? While we are in this political climate,
all right,
let's talk about some politics as usual.
Okay.
You see how you see what I did there. Now,
you gonna give us some cashmere thought?
I thought about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was going to say a crazy bar, but I ain't. I'm gonna leave that Jay-Z bar alone right there.
Oh, Cherry.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where you going.
Excuse-moi.
It's a clean night off, my man.
Yeah, for sure. So, as we're in this political climate, one thing that always stuck out to me is, you know, I'm always heavy into like lyrics and song lyrics, and you know, we just had Trav here, and he always kind of replay things in your mind when people say them. So I recall, do you gentlemen recall J. Cole brackets from the KOD album?
Absolutely.
You remember that song, Tony?
Off the top of my head, no, but I'm sure
it came in with the Richard Pryor intro of like, you know, I told my daddy how much money I made. He said, Joe Lewis ain't make that much money. You lying? You know what I mean? But he was talking about paying taxes. You know, so J. Cole went back and he did the voice that he did with all of his mixtapes and things of that. Like, I gotta pay how much? So in the second verse, the line that gets me that I always stuck in my head was, he said, you know, if I'm giving you this hard-earned bread, I want to know, better yet, let me decide, bitch, it's 2018. Let me pick the things that I'm funding from an app on my screen, right? Now I'm always thinking like, damn, like what if we could actually vote through social media? Sure enough, fast forward 2 years later, we're in 2020 and it's voting time. And now there's, I don't know if you gents seen it, but did you happen to catch any of the links that you could click from social media to register to vote, like on your phone?
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Nah, that's new to me.
It started on a smaller scale by a lot with, I'd say, Obama is really the first presidency that
have
ran
like social media.
With social media.
With like the
it was a little Facebook run back in the day.
Yeah.
But that's Facebook. I'm talking about like an IG story. Like I could click somebody's IG story and be instantly in a web browser for me to register to vote.
Yeah, it's far more convenient.
Like that was never a thing. So me being the millennial that I am and looking at this and just seeing it come around full circle is like, yo, J. Cole rapped about this 2 years ago and it's here now. Or some iteration of it is here, you know? And I think like that was just a shocker to me as far as like raising the bar for the political climate. It's like, all right, even if you can't, you know, get to the poll, these are the steps that you can take to register or at least get your absentee vote ballot in or whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Now, did you gentlemen happen to see the strippers with the get your booty to the poll political campaign?
That sounds like a campaign that I can get behind, Kyle.
I did not, and I'm not here for that at all.
There were some strippers that were getting people to vote by get your booty to the poll. Like the poll to vote, but their booties were on the poll to get you to vote.
I think I saw that.
I think everybody picked up.
You see what I did there?
I think everybody saw the poll.
You saw the poll?
Yeah, I think.
I see what you're doing.
I support the poll. You know what I mean? Essential workers, nonetheless.
College students.
Pretty much. You know, you got to get through that. But nonetheless, I think that was just a crucial thing for me to see is the impact that social media is going to have. Now, we just talked about how there are bots out there feeding you information. So I say that with a grain of salt to do your own research.
It's like a butts bot.
Exactly.
Could be.
You got to do your own research. You got to do your own dilly-dally.
You out here researching strippers?
Maybe.
You got to make sure that Diamond is the one that you got to go for.
Y'all-
Her political views, Corey, are just as valid as everybody else's.
Y'all don't even know about Mercedes.
She did say you got to use what you got to get what you want.
Exactly.
But we're going to slide past that and move into what else did I see this week? You know, I always bring up the good brother Kirby Jean Raymond, man. He's out here making crazy moves. Creator of Pierre Moss, that he partnered with Reebok, has officially been given a position. So he only been creating fly shit for what, 2-3 years now? And they're like, all right, now we're going to finally give you the vice president of creative direction of Reebok. So that was announced earlier in the week, which I couldn't be more excited for, to see what happens with that, because, you know, Reebok is a heritage brand, but who's
There's
cared
room for
about
improvement.
Reebok the last 20 years?
His pieces, a lot of people.
His pieces, everybody cares. Before that, nobody cared. If you had classics on, somebody was clowning you. Like,
Yeah,
fam,
there's
take them
definitely
off.
some space for Reebok to grow back into brand leverage.
He
Exactly.
put the Sisters line out 4 times. Did one season that he put out 4 times because it kept selling out.
And that's what it's going to continue to do. So I had
Yeah.
to champion him when I saw that. It's another person that looks like me that's doing something that I would love to see done.
Right.
So you got to champion that every time you see it. So he's raising the bar for that. A lot of music has dropped, but the key things that really got me, I keep telling y'all about my man Larry June. Larry June is out here raising the bar every time. He put out a new, I would call it an EP. It's only about 7 to 8 songs, called Keep Going. You got Dom Kennedy on there. You got Currency on there. You know what I'm saying? It's a good vibe. It's going to give you the motivation to keep going. You see what I did there? Because that's the name of the track.
There we go.
Y'all ain't picking up what I'm putting down right there.
Get out there and support Kyle's cousin and his mixtape.
You know it. You know it, man. Hey. YG dropped My Life 400. Now,
I did see that. Big red face on the cover.
big red face. What I love about
Is there some
YG's
kind of gang
music.
affiliation there?
Of course
Nah,
it is.
nah, you know.
You know what? What was that? I ain't know what you're talking about.
Ain't nobody know nothing about that.
Yeah. We just like the color red, bro. But what I appreciate about YG's music, and Nipsey said this before he passed, rest in peace, was he said it's protest music, and it's a different type of genre that will give you a different type of energy every time you play it. Like when you put some YG on, you moving. Whether it's because you want to willingly, or somebody throwing a bowl and they moving and grooving. That's what happens when you throw that YG on. You know. Last but not least, I know you listen to this, brother Corey. West Side Gun has put out his first studio album, if you will, under I think he's under Shady Records officially, in Aftermath, or however that works its way out. But did you get a chance to listen through?
I did, fam. I did. You know, I'm here for the Griselda.
You know, we came in on the Griselda. You know what I'm saying? So we got to
Which
bring
was
it back.
the hardest symbol, the hardest triangle you ever heard in your life.
Oh yeah, it be
that
hitting
little ding, that thing be.
every time.
Give it to you.
That's because they hit it with the 9.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard in Buffalo? I just want to understand.
Because the
'Cause
metal
it's
real
cold.
cold. The metal real cold. So when you hit that triangle, it really reverberates in the cold.
Exactly. It's cold up there,
tough up
man.
there, man.
You know, that's where they got the wings at. You know, but
No. No.
that's not
No.
where buffalo wings
No.
come from. They
Stop
call
it.
buffalo wings, but they come from a chicken.
Stop it.
They've been lying to us.
They talk about the sauce. All of you, stop.
Now, it was a saucy album. I ain't gonna front. It was a
Hot sauce.
As far as the music, I gotta shout out my brother Free Goods. Drop the product soon, you'll understand. But that's out on streaming platforms too. But it's just good music out, man. Good vibes. The seasons are changing, like my brother Tone said. You know, we out here riding, if you will.
Still riding.
We out here relaxing responsibly is what we're doing, Tone.
Ooh.
That's really what we're trying to get to.
Hell yeah,
Is
man.
we're trying to relax responsibly. So you wanna tell the good people how you relax responsibly over the weekend, because I saw you do it.
Hey, man.
And I want you to talk about how you did it and why you did it.
First off,
this ain't the getting
First
vetted
of all,
hotline. So I
I
want
was
you to
about to
clear
say,
things.
you coming?
We
yeah.
did. That was not part of the meeting in the beginning. You
Wasn't-
didn't say nothing about calling Tone out on stuff. I wanted to defend my brother before something happened.
And I want to also know that nothing about that was relaxing at all. It's just, that's not the energy of this segment at all.
That wasn't relaxing, though?
Tell the people how.
How you relax?
You
Oh,
you did come
responsibly.
in sounding relaxed and
Yeah.
it ended real hype. You
Oh,
yeah.
for the next
My
relax
bad. Let me-
responsibly. Tony gonna get his ass.
You know what? It's probably because I didn't forest bathed today.
Yeah, you
And
should
if
have
I
got your
would've-
forest bathing on.
If I would have forest bathed before that, it would have came out a little bit smoother.
Is
You
that why you
would've
got
been
dirt on your fingernails?
That's exactly why. You
Come
know what
on,
I mean?
man. All you needed was a little forest in there, a little dip.
Damn it. Next
You
week.
know, we get back on there.
I used to know what for. Never mind. I'm
Nah, don't do that one. Don't do it. Don't do it. So
Here
how-
in the jungle,
yeah, that's a different situation, man.
we got lots of games.
No games, no games being played. You trying to give them all the axle, man. How did I relax this week? Well, Kyle, I'll let you know that it was done monochromatically as I was navigating through these streets.
Before we go any further, we got to talk about Tone's fit.
Nah, we don't gotta talk about
Tone's
me.
fit. What was
You gotta
Tone
stop
wearing?
talking
Bro,
about
First
listen.
off, did he have pants on?
Yeah, he
did.
did.
All right, shout out
His
to that.
pants matched the hoodie that he had on, but he looked wet, but he was dry. You know? Like, it's not that sinking.
I knew a girl like that in college.
Hey, man. See, it's the other way. You gotta get it to flip to make that work. If it flips, it can work. That's the only thing that you need.
She do flips and everything. It's
The
still
man
dry.
was from afar. It looked like he was water moving, but he was still. You know what I'm saying? And he
Why
was dry.
are you a hater?
I ain't
I
hating.
just want to
Let
really
me ask you
understand.
a question. What products or additives were in your system at the time that you saw
Listen, man.
Tone both moving and standing still?
I just want to point out the fact that y'all still ain't let me talk about how my relaxing
My
was.
bad, brother.
You was just talking
yeah,
about the fit.
let him go relax. You know what
I
I mean?
was trying to be relaxed.
It was a
and
fit
tranquil.
for the. It was a
Now
good
it's just
fit.
the roast. I don't even understand what's happening. It's like, I don't know how I got to this point. I feel like I'm being judged, and I don't necessarily receive this energy at this point for my relaxation segment.
So far, I'm on your side, but I reserve the right to back out.
Yeah, you know, so I had a fit for you were backing out. I was laying out. I don't know why you was trying to do all of that, Kyle. I was just trying to lay out. And if you got to put a fit on, my man, you know who captured the energy of the evening, Kyle? I got to look at a one L Baby Love. Because L Baby Love got all the fits that was out here, and he knew exactly what was happening. That's Elliot Ashby out there. He's another potter. But he understands that you had to make sure that you coordinated. You know, I had to give him a
You
little
had
bit
the
of,
mushroom belt?
had to give him the rooter to the tutor, baby. That's what I was trying to do.
First off,
Coordinate.
for those of y'all who are not watching and are just listening, I want to point out that my guy is always on point. My man has both a bandana around his head and
Yeah.
neck of the same color, fully coordinated.
You ain't even see
when
the
your
waist strap.
forehead match your neckerchief,
The face and the waist stay strapped.
The day there's
Click,
a bandana rubber.
Exactly. It's gang style.
if you think there's not, I guarantee you I will find a bandana rubber. I
Whole lot of
guarantee you.
gang shit is what we into.
You banging, baby? Yeah.
Yeah,
what's
banging
up?
hard.
Don't bring YG a blue one.
Hey, we stop it.
Stop it.
We relaxing responsibly. Tone, tell us how you relax.
This is the most irresponsible, relaxed responsibly I've ever heard. So I was at the layout, socially distanced, made sure I had a good time out here, and as I was one to wander through in whatever hue I was decked in, Kyle, thank you very much, I moseyed on over to a nice business practitioner that I saw in the park. I was attracted by what she was serving to people because I saw a booth that was vibrant in nature, Kyle. I saw it and I said, "Hark, who goes there?" As I looked across. And I was greeted by such a pleasant smile and just the ambient, aroma and everything that came about. And I said, "Hey, who's this girl Asha? What's Asha doing in Fort Greene?" And I said, "Hey, Asha, how you doing? My name's Tony,
Wait, is that your hollow voice, Tone?
That's how I was doing it for you,
It
baby.
always goes a little bit lighter.
a little bit
Slid
lighter.
into like a
little bit
real smooth hollow
Hey, what's
voice.
up, girl? How you doing?"
I come every Wednesday. My
Yeah,
compliments
exactly.
shining all bright.
Yo, why you sound like a smooth pootie tang right
That's
now?
what I was giving him. Sadate on the tippy top, baby. What you doing?
You think we could meet one day outside the park? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Say, baby, can I buy you a fish sandwich?
That's exactly where we was at, So, all that to say that I was supporting black businesses. I was relaxing responsibly. That's really what I was doing. I said, "Hey, what's this icy situation that you got?" And she was doing plant-based healing medicine, Corey, with these ices. So I needed some healing. When I get that feeling, I often need some healing. And I went over there and I got some ices from the girl Asha. And yes.
I don't think that's how the song
No,
goes.
that's cool. Don't worry about it. I got that icy and I was delighted because it was remarkably fresh and had all the botanical goodness that a brother like me is into. So I say, shout out to you, Asha. You did that. The more you know.
Well, let me share with y'all what I did. So, for the past few weeks, I was like, yo, I don't really have, I kind of have a set relaxing thing, so I don't have, new things to add to the Relax Responsibly. So I was like, let me make sure I go out of my way and get real extra with my relaxation. So I was like, you know me, I like the decadence. I like to be a little bougie with my relaxing, right? So
A little bourgeois.
a little bit.
Okay.
So I went out and I was like, you know what's comfortable? You know what's relaxing? Silk.
Hey.
So I went and caught myself some silk sheets,
Okay.
right? Got the little light silk cover for the bed. You know what I mean? Got myself some silk pajamas. Got nice and showered up. Got leather. Got all moisturized.
Oh, you trying to
You
slide
know
on
what I
the
mean?
bed.
He's gonna fall
You
right
trying
out
to
that
slide,
joint.
slide.
You fucking up my story.
My bad.
So
Continue.
I put on my pajamas. I feel smooth. I feel nice and moisturized. I slide up into my bed. It's nice and smooth.
Question.
Answer.
Is it long pants or silk, or you got the
It's
short?
still warm out, so I had the pajama top with the shorts, with the silk shorts to go
Okay,
with it.
okay, okay.
But monochromatic like my guy.
What color we talking?
Oh, this was black
Okay.
with the black sheets.
Tone was in the Jay-Z blue earlier when he
Favorite
looked
hue.
wet, but he was dry. But continue.
Favorite
You know
hue.
So I'm like, let me get in here. I get myself set. I get on my sense going, all things I already discussed. I slide into the bed. I'm deep into my slumber. I know I'm in a good sleep because in my dream, I'm floating. And then, like my brother predicted, turns out I wasn't floating. That was, in fact, gravity. My ass then smoothly slid, not off the side of the bed, but out the bottom, fam. I slid down like Cam Newton talking to his receiver. I slid right off the back front of the bed, right down on the ground. Woke up with my neck tucked into my chin, and I failed at relaxing responsibly.
So far, we got 2 stories that didn't really sound that much relaxing or responsible.
But it was an attempt. I relaxed irresponsibly. So
Relaxing
it turns out,
irresponsibly.
when you are covered in silk, you need something for traction.
Yeah, for sure. For
You
sure.
gotta put a little grip on the back or something.
Yeah, you need some alpaca.
For me, you know what I really got into? Call of Duty. Because so I don't know, have you gentlemen, I know he's seen me play it. Have you
I
seen?
have never relaxed shooting niggas, but go ahead.
But hear me out. Hear me out. It updates. So like this is crazy to me because I haven't owned a video game since my, PlayStation 2. You know what I'm saying? We talking years ago. So you buy the game and then it updates like not even quarterly. This thing updates like every month and a half, right? So it resets all your ranks and you start over from the beginning. When you play Call of Duty in the morning and then you also listen to West Side Gun or any Griselda, it just lines up amazingly, man. I'm trying to tell you, it is a relaxing feeling. You just got to shoot a couple people. And then you go on about your day.
Tone, I know where you're going, and allow me to interject for a moment.
It does wonders for my mental health.
So, this is gonna really mess you up, Tone, because what I'm telling you is not what you expect. I have borne witness to this,
He's seen me.
and let me tell you, I was chilling. I was super calm.
He
I was
actually helped me
watching
with
him.
my gun. He was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, you
I
should.
was like-
That's a little heavy. You should get something a little lighter."
Well, like, it was kind of interesting because, like, I trained with some of those dudes. I never did that stuff, but I trained with some of those dudes, so I recognized some of the things that was being used, and I was like, yo, that's not the right kind of joint for, like, small tactical stuff. But then I was just watching it go and watching people get, shot up, and it was actually kind of relaxing, fam.
You know what, Kyle?
Talk to me.
As long as when you're relaxed, you do it responsibly. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you gotta do whatever you gotta do.
You know what I was missing?
What was that?
Some hard booch.
You
need some hard boots
This
when
is
you
what
get
I'm
up.
trying to tell you.
When you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and shoot an 8-year-old.
Listen,
You
man.
know what I was missing is the hard booch.
It could have happened. They
'Cause
could very well be right here if you let it be.
Man.
Yo, shout out to y'all for how y'all relaxed. Because we all have taken, in my opinion, swings and misses in relaxing this week.
I didn't miss. I hit the floor real well.
Hey, got all of that, man. But I like the energy that we brought into the situation, man. Because everybody, just like, we got a lot of different pathways by which we can arrive at the same destination with the same idea or slightly different ideas and different ways in which we're going to do something. It was unique to us all, right? And it was something that was important to us all, and it brought us a little bit of joy. So on that note, I got to ask you guys, what you hopeful for coming into this next week that might bring a little bit of joy coming out of all of these crazy situations?
Besides hoping that I don't fall out the bed again.
That's a real thing.
It really is hurt. I'm hopeful that all of the pain and all of the things that we've gone through are for a reason. And I hope that this is a step forward, because if you have to suffer and you have to trudge through the things that we've gone through, if it's in order to move forward, then it's palatable. If it's to tread water, it's not.
So progress is on my brother Corey's mind, and moving forward through that birthway of pain leading to purpose in some way, shape, or form is where he's going to go. Kyle, where are you residing on the side of hope, my friend?
Man, we spoke on the seasons changing.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful for some decent weather so that I can go out and get my forest bathing in.
You better believe it.
For sure. And after my forest bathing, I'm going to go to the layout and lay out and hopeful that I can see Asha again.
Oh, yeah.
One more time so that we can have a medicinal treat.
Plant-based health and intentionality is coming by way of Brother Jones. And as I sit in this basin and I understand where everybody's coming on and they're hopeful for, I got to too say, Kyle, I'd like to elevate in that same situation by means of some of the things, the finer things in life coming back in there. And I'm hopeful that we all get to enjoy as much of a good time as we have in these last few months. And remember how grateful we should have been with the few months that were happening before then. I want to always be present in that level of remembrance. And I'm hopeful that no matter what happens on this political sphere and that's shakeout as it's going to go through, I'm hopeful that everybody ends up finding that same level of gratitude that we had at some moments where it was really uncertain this time. Because I think that's the thing that's going to be the ticket that gets us out of here, folks. And you know what? Speaking of get out of here, that's what we're about to do right now. I'm about to go ahead throw you these two words.
I'm about to hop in the tub and make sure I don't get soaked in my eye. So
gone.
I don't get forest eye.
Exactly, man. We ain't going to be outside here, man. Yo, fellas, I feel like it's been yet another fantastic episode of Off the Stream. I'm a trainer called Tony.
You're a trainer, Corey.
K.R. Jones.
Peace and much love to y'all out there. Until next time, we'll see you soon.